From intricate technical changes that are bound to have a crazy impact on cars, to new changes in the allocation of wind tunnel time, which should make things fairer and keep the competition intense, here are all of the changes that the FIA has made to Formula One's 2023 season. Let's kick this video off with some of the most important technical changes that'll completely alter the way the cars are driven in the 2023 season. Did you know that minimum ride heights have been raised by 15 millimeters? To accommodate this change, the diffuser throat on all cars will need to be raised too. In addition, new sensors will be installed on all cars to measure each vehicle's vertical forces more accurately. As for weight, the minimum threshold has been dropped by 2 kilograms. The minimum weight limit is now 796 kilograms, which should have some interesting effects on the vehicle's speed and agility. The extra 2 kilograms may not sound like a lot, but you'd be surprised what a few kilograms can do to a speed machine. What's more, roll hoops have been strengthened for this season, following Zhou Guanyu's terrifying crash at Silverstone last season. A final technical change that's been implemented in the pursuit of safety is the new changes to mirrors. The width of the reflective surface of the mirror has been increased from 50 millimeters to 200 millimeters. The hope is that this increase will allow for increased visibility, helping drivers to be more aware of their surroundings and ultimately avoid accidents. These changes may seem small, but when you add them all up, they'll actually have a significant impact on the vehicle's power, downforce, and overall capabilities. Another huge change being implemented into the 2023 season is the new rule regarding tires. Instead of having total freedom, in qualifying, drivers will have to use specific tires. In Q1, hard tires will be exclusively used. In Q2, expect to see mediums. And for Q3, all drivers will be running with softs. So why is the FIA playing around with this idea? Well, according to Mario Isola, who runs Pirelli, the supplier of F1 tires, the change will lead to more sustainable racing. Mario says, if you allocate 2 sets of hards for Q1, 2 sets of mediums for Q2, and 2 sets of soft for Q3, you still have 6 sets for the race. That's perfect. We save a lot of tires with that, without disrupting the F1 show. It's clear that Mario and the FIA have worked hard on creating a system that allows for sustainable racing without compromising the performance of the drivers. We have no clue whether this is going to work in practice, but in theory, it sounds like a solid idea. Now, you might not agree with the previous rule about tire regulations, but I have no doubt that every F1 fan is going to love this next rule. The 2023 season will feature double the normal number of sprint races. Yes, you heard me right. There will not be 3, but 6 sprint weekends in 2023, held in the following countries: Azerbaijan, Austria, Belgium, Qatar, USA, and Brazil. I don't know about you, but I love a sprint, so I can't wait for this rule to be implemented. A few more changes regarding sprints are being experimented with for the 2023 season too. For instance, teams will now have a fixed allowance of $300,000 to cover accident damage during sprints. Furthermore, the Parc Fermé rules are being adjusted to simplify the setup locking process. This will help the FIA manage the increasing number of Parc Fermé requests. Another exciting rule that should keep things interesting is that teams have been given more freedom regarding fuel temperature for 2023. The FIA says fuel in a car must not be colder than the lowest of either 10 degrees centigrade below ambient temperature or 10 degrees centigrade cut from 20 degrees at any time when the car is running after leaving the competitor's designated garage area. This new rule will allow teams to increase the overall reliability of their cars, leading to more exciting races, and hopefully a few more records being broken. Further rules surrounding the team radio have also been relaxed. The F1 cost cap has been increased by $600,000 in an effort to give teams greater freedom during races. So teams have been given more freedom with fuel temperatures and radios, but the 2023 F1 season will have much tighter rules regarding gearbox modifications. Modifications are no longer allowed to improve performance, with teams only being able to modify the gearbox when they've run out of materials or specific spare parts. This rule has been implemented to reduce overall costs and help keep the sport as sustainable as possible. The FIA is very serious about this rule. Before a team is allowed to make a modification, they must provide the FIA with clear documentation justifying the request and laying out everything they plan to do. Now, the next rule on our list should help clear up an area that every F1 fan has been confused about for years. Of course, we're talking about penalties. Last season, penalty rules were applied haphazardly in the Italian Grand Prix, leading to mass confusion and rubbing a lot of drivers the wrong way. Luckily, the FIA has cleared up this rule for the 2023 season. The new rule states classified drivers who have accrued more than 15 cumulative grid position penalties or who have been penalized to start at the back of the grid will start behind any other classified driver. Their relative position will be determined in accordance with their qualifying classification. This should prevent disasters, like what happened last year, from occurring again. Hopefully. So far, the rules on our list look like they're going to have a solid impact on the performance of the cars during the 2023 season. Speaking of rule changes that'll have a big impact, get a load of this one. The rule change concerns the number of hours each team is able to work. Those hours have now been cut significantly. The third of 3 restricted periods on Fridays will start an hour earlier. Last year, the FIA said that a further hour would be cut in 2024, and the number of curfews allowed for the first Wednesday and second Friday will be cut in half. These changes have been implemented to reduce the total number of work hours in the paddock and will require teams to be far more efficient in the hours that they can work. Now, the next rule on our list probably won't sit too well with the more successful teams like Red Bull. We're talking about the changes to the aerodynamic testing rules. For 2023, time in the wind tunnel will be allocated via a sliding scale depending on the performance of the team during the 2022 season. This means that teams who performed the best, like Red Bull and Mercedes, will have significantly less time in the wind tunnel than less successful teams. The aim of this rule is to make things fairer and give the less successful teams a chance to catch up with the big boys. But for Red Bull, it's going to be a serious kick in the teeth, especially considering they're also facing an overspending penalty coming into the new season. The FIA announced Red Bull had breached last year's $145 million cost cap in early October before issuing a penalty later in the same month. Red Bull overspent by 1.6%, was fined $7 million, and will have a 10% reduction in its aerodynamic testing allowance for 12 months. A sporting penalty that affected the outcome of last year's World Championship always seemed unlikely in Red Bull's case. But under the FIA's regulations, one of the penalties for overspending over 5% is exclusion from the relevant year's championship. So, from technical rule changes that'll alter the performance of the cars and hopefully make them safer, to changes in wind tunnel time allocation, those were all of the changes that the FIA has made to Formula One's 2023 season.